What's up, family? It's me, TTG. It's Think About It Thursday, and I just had a little quick thought. You guys, yesterday was my birthday, and I treated myself, got my nails done. Have not had my nails done in years. And it took me back to a moment in time, and I wanted to share a thought with you because it's related to the caption that if you don't look like what you're going through or what you've been through, people won't help you. So, back in the day, 20 years ago, when I was still raising my kids and they were young, and we were in the church and doing different things, and I was trying to build some sort of career life for myself. I used to always keep my nails and my hair done with the weaves and hair pieces and whatever else, wigs and things, designs on the nails and stuff. However, when it came to my hair, I've always done my own hair. Even when I got ready to lock my hair, I did it myself. And the only thing I never really could master was the nails. I mastered the lashes, the hair, but I tried many times to teach myself how to do nails and it just never worked out. So, I had three children, they're all grown now. And, for the majority of that time, raising them, I was, on my own, single mom in it. And, I'm an only child. My parents were deceased. Um, my dad in the 97 and my mom February of 2000. And I didn't have a village or a network, a family. It's just me and my kids. And, it just seemed like whenever I would reach out to those who I thought I could reach out to during that time back then, um, I'm not saying they wouldn't help me, but it was almost like I was trying I always had to prove that I needed help because I never looked like what I was going through. Because I was raised by parents who took pride in their appearance and raised me to take pride in my appearance. So what people didn't know while I was keeping my hair done with all those weaves and wigs and things was that I always recycled my hair. Even when I would put the long extension braids in, how you will cut those out, because they're so long. Cut them, and then take them out after you cut some off. But no, it would take me days to take my braids out because I need that hair. That hair is going right into a bag, and the next time I want to do my hair, I'm going to whip that out. Same with the wigs and what have you. And I never paid anybody to do my hair, and I never really had money to just keep buying hair, right? And then when it came to my nails, let's say I got my nails done on my birthday back then. Let's say that. I probably would not be able to even get a fill in for them for maybe another month, maybe more, you know. So I always kept super glue in my purse and, little, like I would try to match the nail polish and I might take it off and I was always doctoring up my nails. I get the money to get them done. And that's what people don't know because I knew how to maintenance my own look and create my own look. Why do people have to look downtrodden to get help? I mean, and so what happened was, you guys, maybe I would say, I'll just say 7 years or so ago, and I know it was more than 5 years. I was having a conversation with someone, and it's someone who is a bit younger than me, but they were around. I watched them grow up and things like that. I was friends with their mom. And during the course of the conversation, without getting all into whatever we were talking about, she had made a reference about, I mean, you always had your nails and hair done. So, sometimes it just seemed like, why would you still need help? She said something to the effect of that. I'm heavily paraphrasing, but it was really shocking to me. And so, it made me ask her questions and everything. And, she was just enlightening me. that people saw me a particular way because of my appearance. People always called me Diva. I never named myself Diva. I just knew that when I went to work, I wanted to look like I belonged there. I wanted to look like, a boss before this whole boss babe era was a thing. I wanted to be able to walk in those rooms and present myself in a way that I could be promoted and things like that. And, I maintained that. And sometimes I would need help with the lights or, whatever it would be. And, I just I never really in the moment when I needed the help, I never really I just the thought didn't cross my mind that I didn't look like I need help. So, you gotta look like you are sleeping in the gutter before someone wanna come along and, have a hero or a savior complex. Say, you know what, let me help you, sister. I can look at you and tell that you need help. I have never even wanted to look like I needed help. And I'm gonna share this and then I'm gonna go because just think about it Thursday and I just want y'all to think about it. Just think about if there's ever been a time in your life where you really needed help and it seemed like it was hard for you to get it for whatever reason, even from people that you would think would help you. There was a time that I was homeless. Me and my kids were homeless. And there are levels to being homeless. You can be homeless sleeping outside, you can be homeless sleeping in your car, you can be homeless living in a motel, and you can be homeless sleeping on someone's couch, or even if they give you a room in their home, you are considered homeless because that is not, you are staying on someone else's lease. And during that time, I was, involved in the church and different auxiliaries and things. And my life didn't stop just because we were staying, with people. And so, I look, very much how, I've just always been that way. And in the midst of that, we went to at least maybe three places during a year of homelessness before I was able to be housed again. Um, and so I remember one day I was going to service and it was a Sunday morning. And for whatever reason, one of the sisters there that, I consider, church fam, definitely. I was talking to her and we ended up going in the conference room, one of the conference rooms. And I shared with her that me and my children were homeless and that the place where I was staying at, it just felt like they didn't want us there, but they just wasn't saying it. And just the astonishment that swept her, she couldn't hide it, and she was like, "Sister, what?" And I told her for how long, and she was just, "Wow, I never would have known, sis. I just never would have known." And I'm private. I don't need for people to know. I don't want for people to know, not because of shame, but because it's my business, and you don't need to know. So, my kitten's coming over here. Go on now. I'm doing something. Go on, be done with rubbing all up on me. Just sit down. Anyway, no, not on me. Anyway, y'all, think about it Thursday. I just wanted to drop that thought before I go to bed. I'm in my little auntie. It's supposed to be a moo or whatever you want to call it. Um, and I'm about to lay it on down. Probably not gonna go to sleep just yet, but I'm gonna lay it on down. But just think about that. Just think about does that resonate with you? I was sitting there getting my nails done, and the fact that she mentioned that and talked about how I looked, and like I say, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember it all, but she definitely referenced my appearance. Hair always done, nails always done, you know looking like I'm dressed in a nine when I'm shopping and I'm thrifting. I'm recycling looks. I still have things that I've had for probably 20 more years, just different accent pieces. I've always been able to create my own look. Both of my parents dressed to the nines. They were very fly, very attractive people. And I I grew up like that. I'm a Gen Xer. Back then we took pride in our appearance and we wanted to look a particular way. But anyway, y'all, if you made it this far, definitely please hit that subscribe button because you came inside and felt the vibe. Go on and join the T Tribe. Hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, leave me a comment. Like I said, yesterday was my birthday. If you wanted to shout me up happy belated, I appreciate that, but it's definitely not necessary or required. I didn't have anything planned. I went, got my nails done, then I went and got myself some Asian carry out buffet. They weigh it by by the pound. And when I was in there, I was just really looking everything over to see what I wanted and everything like that, and putting everything in my little carry out tray. Very, very nice place, very beautiful looking, like a place you definitely wouldn't mind sitting down, bring the family, sit down and eat. And someone was coming up next to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it might take too long in the way." And they're like, "Oh no, ma'am, you're just fine. Take your time." And I said, "Thank you. It's my birthday, so I'm just having a big back birthday, and just I'm trying to stuff this thing until I could barely close it. And then another person was over to the left of me, and they were like, "Happy birthday!" A couple of people were like, "Happy birthday!" I was like, "Oh, thanks, guys." And then the gentleman was like, "It's your birthday?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Happy birthday!" And so, I went on to finish get my food. And when I started walking towards the register, I noticed that gentleman moving behind me. And I saw him reaching for his wallet, but I was like, I know this guy's not about to pay for my food. So I got up there and I was talking, to the hostess and everything. And she must be a regular there because she looked up at him and he probably does act of kindness like this all the time. And she said, "Oh, you gonna pay for her?" And he said, "Yes, I am. It's her birthday and she deserves it." And that made my whole day. That made my whole day, y'all. And so, definitely now I have to pay that forward because I really believe in that. I believe in karma. I believe in, manifest destiny. I believe in all those things. You can attract light to you. You should be a light to attract the light. So, if you made it this far again, thank you so much. Oh, and y'all, I found my clicker. If y'all watched last time, I was talking about how to get up to stop it and everything, and I'm getting back into the recording thing. I'm being consistent. I did a talk about it Tuesday where I talked about how I was binge watching body cam videos, and so this is Think About It Thursday, and definitely tune in again next week for Talk About It Tuesday. I'm actually going to be doing mukbang. I got my car tray on my steering wheel. I took that down today. But I'm going to go on and chill out. I do have to work tomorrow. So you guys have a great weekend. Oh, and tomorrow is my oldest granddaughter's golden birthday. Happy birthday, Sanaya. You know that I love you. That's another reason why my video was late because I had to hook her up with her birthday hair. So anyway, y'all, until next time, you know, what do they say? Be kind to yourself and each other. Bye.